Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Entrepreneurial Truth Podcast. My guest this week is Joy Nicholson. And I don't know why I said this week. It's almost like every day now. She lives in New Zealand, and she's a digital marketer that helps MLM people, that's multi-level marketing for those that don't know, move away from traditional methods to get people in their downline. And here she is, Joy.
Hello. Thank you, Jim, for having me on your show. It's pretty cool.
Yes, I hope you appreciate that terrible introduction.
Well, it's pretty spot on. It's very basic, but it's pretty spot on. So yeah.
Okay. First question I usually ask everybody. It's not every time, but this time I'm going to ask you. What made you want to become an entrepreneur? What lit that fire for you in your heart that made you want to become an entrepreneur?
You know what? I think I was born with it in my blood. The very first time that I sold anything, I was 5 years old. And me and my cousin, we used to make beaded jewelry, and we would sit outside my grand's house and sell it to the foot traffic that walked past. And when I was in school, I was about 10-ish. I used to buy these big packets of lollies and chips and things like that. And I would ask my mom nicely, and we'd make small packets, and I would sell it to the kids at school. And I used to make quite a bit of money. I would make more money than the tuck shop, so the school eventually closed me down. And that was just me. So literally, since I can remember, I was always looking for something to do and something to sell. So it's, I guess, in my blood.
It's in your blood. See, that's funny because my daughter did that. She sold jewelry and all that stuff too. So I was like, whoa, really? Because that was kind of neat. But there are some people, when I talk to some people, that we believe that it is in our blood. It is kind of in our DNA. It is who we are. And so, yeah, that was pretty cool. I have talked to a lot of people that truly believe that there's just something different about something. I had one person say that everybody's born with it. It's just our environment and certain factors that we either do it or we don't. So I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure about that.
I've never thought of it like that, but I don't know. I kind of have to disagree with that statement. I don't know a lot about that subject, but it just doesn't, just knowing a lot of people, I don't know if that could be a thing for a lot of people, because some people just don't want to do it at all. Like, they have zero interest to do their own business. So I don't know.
Yeah, I know. I can see that too. So I kind of felt like that too, but then I had to give it its due diligence. So I just kind of thought about it and thought, it's possible.
Yeah.
But in your journey as an entrepreneur, what struggles, either internal or external, kind of came against you, and how did you overcome that?
Okay, so I love this question, and I haven't been asked this a lot, and this is something that I actually ask on my podcast for everybody because it's a real thing. So when you're an entrepreneur, you have a lot of struggles. So when you start the entrepreneurial journey, people think it's just sunlight and roses and all these beautiful things. But there's a lot of internal pain and struggling that goes on with it. And I suffered very badly from it. And because I've always been an entrepreneur at heart, I've tried a lot of businesses through the years, and they all failed miserably. And I really struggled with the failure side because, you spend money, you start things up, and then it failed. And then you lose money because you've put money into website designs and, buying stock or whatever it is that you do, And so for me, was the fact that I failed was a very big struggle for me. And so I don't know if you're aware of the OFA challenge. It's the One Funnel Away challenge. I did that in February. And it's still something I recommend for anybody to do. And in that first week, they taught you about failure and how you should embrace failure. And I got my epiphany and I never, ever, ever saw it like that. And, I was very hard on myself. Like, you're so stupid. How can you fail again? You're just not getting this right. Just that real, like, being hard on myself. And then this is like, you should fail. If you don't fail, you don't succeed. I had to teach myself that. And this is something that I tell my students as well. It's like, it's okay to fail because you actually overcome your struggles with failure and then the success starts coming. And that's what eventually happened with me because I accepted the failure. But it's one thing to accept it, but you also obviously need to put the right processes in place, to actually take that stepping stone in your business. So, Yeah, so I would say my biggest internal struggle was the fact that I felt and I just could not handle that.
I understand that because people watch us.
Yeah.
We say, hey, we put our sign on the door, or figuratively or literally, and we say, hey, we're open for business. And the people that are even those negative people, the people sometimes are in your family or your friends, stuff like that. And they say,
Yeah.
yeah, what are you doing? Why don't you just get a job? This
Mm-hmm.
is stupid and all this. And, you don't want them to be right. You know what I mean?
Yes, I completely understand that. I'm very blessed because my husband supports me. He believes in this whole online internet game, so I've got no issues there. I've had quite a few haters, not family as such, but friends. And I don't know, it's going to sound quite blunt, but if you not care about me, I don't care about you. I know it sounds horrible, but if you're going to push me down and you're going to tell me that you're going to fail, you can't do this, you can't do that, I'm going to cut you out of my life. And that's just the way I am. I guess because I haven't had family that did that with me, I guess it's a bit easier because you can't really do that with family. And I feel sorry for people that have this with family members, because I know firsthand of people that are close friends with me that their spouses don't support them. And, they have the whole family struggle with the family don't support them. And that's really, really hard. And so I'm lucky that I don't have that. But I've lost a lot of friends, or should I say I cut them out of my life because they're negative in my space and they put me down. I had this one friend that said to me, oh, what bollocks are you talking about again today? And I was like, thank you, but no thank you, I don't need you in my space. But this is the thing, so my recommendation is, if there's somebody in your life that is, like you say, not supporting you, cut them out. And with family, it's harder. So what I would recommend to people to do is then don't let them see your posts. You can actually make them so when you post something on your personal profile, just make it so that they don't see it. There's a setting that you can block them to see your posts. That's to the Facebook feed, but they don't actually see what you do. So yeah.
Yeah, that's a hard thing because as entrepreneurs, I think it's a constant growth. I think it's a constant journey inside of yourself. And I also believe that your business reflects you. It's almost a mirror for yourself. So with that being said, has there been any other like internal struggle that you've had besides the fear of failure, like maybe the imposter syndrome where you feel like you're not good enough, those type of things? Have you had those?
Yes, Jim, I went for a whole range of things. I am religious, and I don't want to bring religion into the podcast because I know people,
No, you can. It's totally fine. It's my show. If they don't want to watch it, they can fast forward.
I went for a struggle, and this was in the very beginning of this year, where I did not feel self-worth. So self-worth for me was a big thing. I didn't realize it when it happened to me. Like, I didn't realize that was a problem for me. And I didn't succeed in I made money, I did the OFA, I broke down the failure belief, I got that sorted out. And then I went on, but I still did not reach the levels of earning potential that I wanted to reach, right? And I worked still stupid hours. I still worked 50, 60, 70 hours a week. I've got 2 kids that I'm juggling with a husband that's traveling. So, it's a lot of, I don't have any time for me as such. And I didn't feel like I was worth it, like I didn't feel that I was worth the success, but I didn't know that I was feeling that. And this is the interesting thing. And we were sitting in church the one Sunday, and my husband said to me, and they were talking in the front, and my husband said, let them just pray for you, because I was in a terrible, terrible mental state, terrible. And even if I go to sleep, I can't sleep because I'm just constantly thinking about all these things that I'm doing wrong and nothing is working. And yes, I'm making money, but it's not where I want to be. It's just like, what am I failing at? And, how can I fix this? It's just constant thoughts. And so I got them to pray for me. And it's funny enough because the preacher said to me that he can actually feel, which is going to sound bizarre to people that's not religious, and I don't expect anybody to understand this, but they prayed for me, and he basically said to me that I can feel you are not self-worth, like you don't feel like you are worth earning money and earning your success. And it all boils down to your childhood, because And it's not like I had a terrible childhood in any way, shape, or form. It was just, I guess, as my parents, my mom was always working hard. My dad was always working hard. And it was that whole thing of like, you have to work hard to actually earn a living, and it's how you grow up, it's that whole mental thing growing up. And so I was feeling like I'm not, I should work very hard to earn a little bit of success type thing. And I just got goosebumps, and I had this whole epiphany in church, and I was like, wow, what a moment. And I just burst out in tears, and I couldn't stop crying. I was like, wow, this is like so weird. And since then it got fixed. And and it's obviously the Holy Spirit and all of the Christian things that people won't understand, but that's not religious. But yes, and from then my self-worth grew, and then magically my business grew.
Well, I just want to say this real quick, because I had another guy that was on my show and said he didn't feel like religion had a place in the podcast. And I'm going to say this to all the people listening and all the people out there. If you don't like it, you can turn it off. I mean, my feelings aren't going to get hurt. This is part of this person that I'm interviewing right now. If you're offended, you can turn it off. I don't mind, but I'm not going to have her feel like she can't be herself, because she might offend somebody with something that's positive. So I'm not going to do that. I don't want you to feel like you can't mention that, because you can.
Thanks, Jim. I appreciate that. But that was my story. So other people, I know of somebody that hired a mentor, and the mentor said to this person that you don't feel self-worthy, and that's why you're not succeeding. And the mentor fixed her. So it can be anything. But for me, that was my story, and that is what made me realize. So yes, a failure of self-worth, and just that feeling of, like, I don't know how to explain it. It's sometimes a little bit hard for me to explain this, but it's like you just don't feel like you can succeed, if that makes sense.
You feel like there's a wall there that you can't break through.
You're stuck.
You just feel inside, your insides are eating at you, and your mind is going in circles, because you just can't figure out what that magic formula is. And you don't realize that it's you.
That's it. That's exactly it. You're the one person that keeps yourself back. That's it. But yeah, I overcome, the good thing is I overcome all of that stuff. And in the last 4 or 5 months in my business, which is quite fresh, but the last 4 or 5 months of my business has been the best 4 or 5 months I've ever had, financially, mentally, physically. It's just been a really great epiphany.
I'm so happy for you. I really am.
And if you fix those little things in your life, it's where the magic happens.
That's when the magic happens. Now, I'm going to ask you this. This is going to go a little deeper, but I'm going to ask you this. So when you had those thoughts and were staying up at night, wasn't it the systems you were looking at, if I got this thing, or if my, is my copy right? All the things that are not internal? Was that what you were looking at?
You know what? Funny enough, no, because I knew the process that I needed to take to be successful, because I did the RFA challenge. It teaches you everything. And I completely agree with it. That's the way that you should take your business. I knew what to do. My problem was the direction that I was taking my business in. Because I was part of MLM groups. I was selling things online, but I wanted to niche down. And I wasn't sure where exactly I should niche down to. And that was my problem. Because if you're not exactly sure who's your customer and who you are serving, then that is a problem. And at that stage, I served different people, and I didn't have a specific audience that I was serving. And that makes it also very hard. So my advice is, like, find the very first thing in your business is think of, who do you want to surround yourself with? Do you want to surround yourself with people that are in garden services, or, I don't know, that write books, or in my case, that sell, MLM products, whatever it is. Think of who you want to surround yourself with, and then build your audience around that. And then you build your business from that. And that's the mistake I made. So once I figured that out, and I knew who I wanted to serve, which was people that's already in an MLM space, people already making money online, they just need to define or refine their digital marketing process, that's when I'm like, aha, light bulb moment. And that's when things started going really good for me.
So you're the person that kind of puts the fuel on the fire.
Pretty much.
So
I
it's
help people to generate leads. Yes.
generate leads. I want you to talk a little bit more about what you do, the services that you offer, and that type of thing.
Okay. So in a nutshell, for the people that don't know, so the whole idea behind marketing your business is to build an email list. So there's this, I won't say thing, but it's a thing that if you're a terrible marketer, if you have no idea how to market, you're like the worst of the worst, but you build an email list, you can make $1. Yeah, you can make $1 per person per month on your email list. Now imagine if you have a list of 5,000 people. That's $5,000, right? And that's if you're a terrible marketer. If you're an average marketer, you can make about $4 to $5, even $7 per month per person on your list. Now imagine you've got 5,000 people. So, and if you're a good marketer, I mean, if you talk like Russell Brunson, Grant Cardone, those people, they have hundreds of thousands of people on their list, and they sell their products on average. I mean, I'm just thinking on the top of my head, Russell's like average is about $300 that he makes, or I won't say make, but that he sells his things for. So he's making on average, maybe I'm assuming, I don't know exactly his figures, but just talking out of my experience, if you join his ClickFunnels program, there's a $300 that you pay for it. So imagine it's $300 plus whatever his list is, 100,000 people or even more per month per person. That's where the money lies. So the bigger your list of people that you have, the more money you're going to make. So the whole aim is to define or refine, I keep saying refine your marketing process so you understand how to market to your people with the list that you have built up. So the very first thing that you need to do is build a list. So how do you build a list? You build a list with a lead magnet or anything like that. So if you have some money to invest, I would strongly recommend Facebook ads. That's what I do. It's easier. You don't have to worry about too much organic traffic or solo ads or anything like that. It's an easier way, I guess. A lot of people do it organically, which is also good. So what I do is you create a lead generation page. You give something away for free. So the general thing that you do is you do a PLR product. So a PLR product is something that stands for private label rights. So if you go, for example, you go Google beauty PLR, there will be a lot of PLR products that comes up. So what happens is some people, they like to generate content, but they don't like to be seen. Like they just shy. They don't like to be on camera or whatever else. So what they do is they sell like a whole email sequence for like $4. So I can literally buy like 100 emails, which I've done, by the way, 100 emails that has all the beauty tips and all of those things in, because it's one of the MLM products that I sell. So it's got all the beauty tips, a whole email thing for $4, which is nothing. I mean, I paid $4 for like a whole year of emails because I don't just use the whole thing. I actually snippet it, and I use the snippets in my Facebook group and my Facebook page and, you know, all of those things. So it's just about the clever way to do it. So basically the PLR product, depending on what you buy, you can put it in the front thing of your funnel. You give that away for free, and then you get emails, people's email address. That email address then goes to your email sequence. So I use Aweber personally. I prefer that. But then you start something that is called an Oprah sequence. I'm talking a lot. I hope you don't mind. So Oprah sequence is basically we put 4 emails in. So it's an email a day space, an email a day space, and you basically market to these people. Then they go onto a broadcast list, and then that's basically how you sell people. So with each email, it's just sharing value, which is very important, and not just trying to sell them, but sharing value. Like in my case with beauty stuff, is like share tips on, you know, how to have nice hair and how to do this and how to do this and blah, 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 blah. And then, by the way, did you see this new product that does exactly that, you know, and then boom, there's a link. There's a thing to say that people you only sell people about the 4th or the 7th time that they come across your business. So, you know, when they read your emails and all of that stuff. So, yeah. And that's what I do. So it's about teaching my students, grow your email list and then close your deals, your sales with like your email sequence. But then at the same time, that email sequence then feeds also back to your Facebook group where you then have a group or a Facebook page, and then you continue to share the value with people as well. So that's in a nutshell. There's still lots more in components in between all of that you have to, like quick story offers and telling stories and videos and all of those things. But that's the basic concept of all of it. So
that's really good. No, that's good information. And I did not want to stop you. I just wanted you to keep going and feeding more information to the people that are watching, because that's invaluable right there, especially the PLR stuff.
Yeah, it's an epiphany. I'm a marketing geek. I can just talk about this stuff for hours. I absolutely just love it. Like, I'm a complete marketing geek. But yes, and it is. The PLR stuff is really, really cool. And it's amazing how cheap you can pay for things without even, realizing it. So it's very, very cool.
Yeah, that's an aspect that that people don't know about. That, and some people know how to do marketing and stuff like that, and but they don't know every step.
No, that's very true.
There's usually a gap, or there's something missing, or something like that. And I think that you can help with that as well.
Yeah, and I do. And I've got my students. I don't have a lot of students on purpose, because I don't want to have too many students, because I love to have one-on-one attention with my students. And, I have to be selfish with my time, because I've got children. So it's not my time, it's their time. And I'm selfish with their time, because I'm not going to sacrifice my time, because my family comes first, with my kids. So I've got 11 students. And my 11 students at this stage, and they're mature, they go up, they know what they do, and then I get new students, and it's how it goes. But at this stage, I've got 11 students, and it's just teaching them that process, of building their funnel, because I am an affiliate for ClickFunnels, and that's how I make my money, because I make my money both ways. I charge my coaching, and at the back end, I get the commission if they do decide to join ClickFunnels. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that's basically it. So I've got the two side, and if they join my MLM, then that's even on top of that. So I guess I'm clever in the way I market it.
That's very good. Oh, very good.
It's free streams of income potentially in one person, but it's not just my income. They also benefit, because I'm helping them to make money, which for me is more important.
If you help enough people, the money will come. That's the way I believe. But the thing is, with what you're doing, you're making someone else make money so that you can earn money. There's plenty of money out there for everybody. And people don't think that, but there's plenty out there for everybody. And,
yes.
And if they make more, you make more, hey, everybody's happy. It's a win-win.
Exactly. Yeah. And and I just love to see people succeed. I just love to see people that come from nothing, that have nothing, and then they make money. You know what I mean? It's just a beautiful feeling it's something beautiful to experience, to just see people do that. It's really, really cool.
That is very cool. Is there anything else you want to say to our audience? I know you have time constraints today, so I want to make sure that you can do what you have to do.
I almost have to go get my kids. But I guess the biggest thing that I want to say to people is that they should focus on one thing and one thing only, because that is something that all entrepreneurs struggle with. Some point is that you do something and then you go to something else. And focus is something that, if you focus on one product or one service at a time, make it successful and then move on to the next. We as human beings, it is impossible for us to focus on one thing only. It is how we go. But, there's things like checklists and things like that, that people can, I can say, get themselves onto the focus path. So for me personally, what I struggled with, part of the internal struggles that we talked about earlier is just focusing, but I didn't see it as an internal struggle. It was just getting it's more like a headspace thing. It's not a struggle. It's more like a headspace thing. So what I would recommend for anybody that's listening to this is focus on one thing, make it a success, and then move on to the next. Try to avoid shiny syndrome or shiny object syndrome, because it's a real thing, and it's something that does not go well if you do have it.
I agree with you. There are many people out there that have shiny object syndrome. If you don't know what that is, it's like a new product or a new course or a new this or new that, and you feel like you have to have that before your business can move forward. And
exactly.
You kind of get bogged down in all that.
I have this book. I love the Empire State Building. I lived in the States for a year and I love New York. But the State of Mind is my book where I just write down, this is my ideas book. So all the ideas that I get, I just write in here. I've got half a book written of ideas here. So what I've learned from one of the gurus that I've actually interviewed, which is not even a live interview yet, but it's something I learned, well, I won't say I learned from, I knew about it, but he just also confirmed it, is that whatever you take on in your business, because opportunities is going to come your way. It's a fact. You know, people are going to approach you, you're going to have opportunities, and they're going to seem absolutely amazing. But make sure that before you say yes to an opportunity, that it aligns with your business and where you want to take your business. And that's very important. And that is something that a lot of people don't do. It's like, ooh, I am selling highlighters. Oh, no, wait. I would rather sell a computer mouse instead. It doesn't line up. But you understand, I know it's a silly idea, well, silly concept, but it doesn't line up. Like, if you're going to sell this, then rather sell pens and books and things like that goes with it. You know what I mean? It lines in with your business. Where if you're going to sell a computer mouse, what's the next thing? Logical, a computer, like a mouse pad. What's the next one? A computer. You know, so because it actually aligns with each other. And that's like a very good piece of advice that I've learned from somebody that I would recommend is whatever opportunities come your way, make sure it's aligned with your business, and that's the way that you want to take your business. If you're torn about your business and you're not sure where you want to go with your business and you don't have anything set in stone and it's a better opportunity, then sure, go for it. But just be careful for that, the sauce.
Yep, exactly. You have to have things congruent with what you're doing.
That's exactly it.
Yeah. And you know, this has been a really good interview. There has been so much good information. I think I'm going to have you back on when you have more time. Would that be okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Definitely. We're going to do that then. All righty, everybody. That's been the show this week. Do you want to say goodbye to everybody?
Thank you, everybody. Have a good Christmas and have a good Christmas, Jim.
Oh, thank you.
It's around the corner and the festive season, and just travel safe. I know America is snowing and Canada is snowing, so just be safe on the roads.
It's snowing here right now.
Yeah.
Right now.
I didn't realize you get snow where you are.
Oh, yeah. We're in Michigan.
Oh, yeah, you're in Michigan. Of course.
We average about 100 inches a year.
Ooh,
yeah,
that's a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
We're right next to Lake Michigan, so we get lake effect snow.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's kind of awful. But anyway, everybody, I'm supposed to tell you to click the links below, the subscribe button and the little bell thing, and I will figure out what that does someday. And also, I'm going to put links to Joy and her stuff at the bottom too, so that you can get in touch with her as well. And we appreciate you being on, Joy, and everybody, have a good week.
Having me. Thanks, you too. Bye.
Bye-bye.